Hi everyone, it's your boy Zach. Now I don't think I'm someone who takes offense easily, but last night they put me in that outside lane at Whataburger, and I'm still angry about it. I hate that outside lane. It makes me feel like a second-class citizen. People on the inside lane, you got like a woman in a window, and then if you're on the outside lane, there's just a person walking with like a tablet. And I drive a Kia Soul. I am eye level with those giant exhausts of those ridiculous Texas trucks. So I'm still salty about it. But I did chug some Gatorade before I went to sleep. So amazingly, I always think it's funny when people market like hangover cures, and it's literally just hydrate yourself. That's it. Literally any type of hydration. But anyway, so yesterday I put up a video saying that I don't think lateness is the factor in success of crowdfunding. I think it's quality, because we've seen with RIPPAVERSE him lose 95% of his customers. I got a little salty because someone's like, TBH, and then they tried to correct me, but they were incorrect. And I was like, you motherfucker. I went to go check. Yeah, he started with 42,000 backers for the first one. And those were apparently individual, because there was a much higher number for the amount of books sold. And shortly after, like 2 campaigns later, he started hiding his backers. And now he just shows the books. And the books are, if you extrapolate that the average person buys, I don't know, 1 or 2 books, he's well below 2,000. So he's lost 95% of his customer base in just 3 years. Alpha Core drops 80% from issue 1 to issue 2. I would say it's free fall, but when you are in free fall, there's a concept of, reality of terminal velocity. You're not going to continually accelerate at someone. It's like he's the Rocketeer, and he purposely is just flying to the ground. By the way, this is some headcanon. Whenever people talk about a sequel to the Rocketeer, I'm always like, he died like a day or 2 later after the movie, right? The Rocketeer outfit with the jetpack is the most dangerous superhero contrivance ever. There are no safety features in that at all. What, like a little helmet? You're going to bash into something at 500 miles per hour. That helmet will do nothing. But anyway, so whenever I talk about lateness occasionally, and I always get the same super angry comments. So this one, a guy's like, although things do change, there was a while there where they would tack on like an extra year or 2. And it started getting crazy. There would be like books that were 2 years late, they would say 4. And it feels like there was some sort of meeting or like a live stream where they're like, we need to get these numbers correct. So this guy was like hitting me with the years and months. I was like, oh, that's actually accurate. And then he was saying, you say lateness isn't bad. I didn't say that. I just said I don't think it's the main factor of... sidebar. For all you old heads thinking I was going to be talking about Mirage Comics, the company, this is about comics that are mirages, so I don't want to keep you here under false pretenses. But he basically said, like, I've been waiting for your book for like 2 years, 4 months. During that time, I've received 35 items from RIPPAVERSE on time. I'm like, oh, wow. Why would you do that to yourself? That feels like self-harm. So I tried to be very James Gunn Superman about it, because initially it was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I understand you're frustrated I'm late, but why would you buy dog shit, because it's going to arrive on time, especially so much of it. But that's what's pushed. So RIPPAVERSE is a mirage. And it was built on the initial crowdfunding of like, oh shit, we're going to take on the mainstream. We're going to do better than them. And I bought into it because it looked like that was going to happen. And by 2022, it was clearly not going to happen. Rippaverse was built on the idea that normies just found out about culture war in 2022, so you could sell them a lie. You could sell them, literally, that if they bought 5 variant covers of Blood Ruth 3, that it was like the Corsican Brothers or a voodoo doll, like Heather Ontos would start writhing around. I can feel it. They're buying the variants and they're getting the plushies. Nobody in the mainstream comic book industry gives any credence to Eric July. Everybody's laughing at him and his shitty books and his fans. It's a bunch of right-wing people pretending to have some sort of art revolution when that has been thoroughly debunked for like half a decade. And comic book crowdfunding is returning to what it was, which is a way to get a book funded that you wouldn't be able to fund with your own money. And in that respect, everything is fine. Even with all the adjusted numbers, nobody is doing worse than they would have done, 10 years ago. It was a fad. It was a movement, quote unquote, but it wasn't real. It was a mirage. And anyone pretending that it isn't a mirage is basically flim-flamming you. This isn't leading to anything except for a lot of really shitty books existing. And you see the number, like 1 to 35. That's not entertainment. That's not enjoying good stories. That's a compulsion to prove something that is thoroughly unprovable. At least now, there has been no significant pushback or alternative to the mainstream. There was for a little bit when mainstream was doing really, really bad and crowdfunding was doing really, really good. It looked like it could be a competitor or take it over. And now that's all. I remember people were saying like, oh, they should, Marvel should do like a Heroes Reborn deal with Eric July because he sells millions of da-da-da-da-da. It was a moment in time that he's never been able to recapture. He's not in free fall. He's in a jetpack pointed at the ground, about to absolutely crater. And he ain't about that life. He ain't about not being able to brag about things. So what he's doing is pushing the narrative that we will win. And this goes back to the earliest parts of his company. So he's selling people the idea that they're not just buying the worst comics ever made, that they're building a movement and they're taking on the mainstream when that has been thoroughly debunked for years. So, like I said, when somebody said they bought 35 Rippaverse items, honestly, my initial one was just like to call him a name. And it was like, what the fuck is wrong with you than the rude name? I don't need to do that. It feels almost like a wellness check needs to be done on someone. Like, are you okay? Are you getting angry? Are you starting to see that this was never leading to anything? And I'm not faulting people for, it's like that old Simpsons joke where they show a graph of the 2-year sales of disco products, and it's just this sharp, increase. And then the guy was like, if these sales continue, they didn't. They don't. They did not. So what you have is fewer than 2,000, I would say about 1,500 unhappy men who have been sold a lie by an imbecile. And they are, 35. 35? That's thousands of dollars. Eric July can barely speak English. And he's a writer. Yeah, so, kind of related to my video from yesterday. Saying Eric July comics are shit is not the most original thing, but to see the disparity of someone buying 35 items. Unbelievable. Did you get a single... Is there a single scene in any of those books that is memorable or good? I don't need to prove that Eric July comics are horrible. This is established fact of the universe. But please stop. You are, at this point, continuing to buy Rippaverse comics is a form of self-harm. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.